we look forward to seeing you guys down at Equip Expo 2023, October 17th through the 20th. Guys, don't forget to use promo code Brian to register and save your guys' self 50% all summer long. Get those tickets ASAP. And by the way, we do earn a little bit of a kickback, and that goes right into supporting the show, supporting the podcast, and the YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much in advance if you happen to use our code. And don't forget to register you and each individual that you got to bring for your team. You got to register each person separately.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
We're excited to kick off our second annual Spring Road Tour as we are visiting some of the best-looking shops across the country. Come along as we give you a behind-the-scenes tour of some of the most successful lawn care, landscaping, and hardscaping companies and how they operate their business. This shop tour is brought to you by our great friends at Steel, Equipment Defender, Cujo Yardware, and Yardbook. We know that professionals like you trust and rely on the tools and equipment to make their businesses a success, and our partners mean business. Gear up, lock up, lace up, and line up your business for success in 2023 with the gear and equipment from our tour sponsors. We'll be releasing new Shop Tour podcast and YouTube videos every Monday as we take you across the country highlighting these entrepreneurs' businesses and their incredible shop builds. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, guys, super excited about this next shop tour that we have lined up today. My man, Kory Lamphear from Kory Lamphear and Lamphear Lawn Care over there in Medina, Ohio. Kory has a great business going on. One of the coolest dudes I've ever gotten to meet, a part of the whole shop tour series. I was actually able to hang out with him on the weekend. He opened his place up on a Sunday morning, which I'm exceedingly grateful and thankful for. I was doing a 5-tour series here, going through Ohio, Pennsylvania, back to Ohio, and then through Michigan. And it's just the only time it quote unquote worked. And he gave me about 3 or 4 hours, which was exceedingly generous. And I just wanted to say, man, it was so worth it. I'm so glad I was able to swing by and see what these guys are doing. As you can imagine, multi-million dollar business and, setup that they got going on there. I think they had like 25 trucks and crews that go out just for maintenance, many more with FERT, landscaping, construction. Man, like, it was so freaking cool. They have like this 10-yard facility, beautiful shop. We did a tour on the whole thing. I think the video was like 30 minutes that we're going to be dropping tonight on YouTube at 3 p.m. Eastern on the Brian's Lawn Maintenance YouTube channel. So make sure you swing on by later tonight. Don't forget to check out Kory's shop tour. And it was just a special treat. It was a lot of fun. So any which way, I want to say a big thank you to Cujo Yardware, Steel, Equipment Defender, and Yardbook. You guys have been hearing me plug these guys for the last 6 or so weeks, and for the next 2 weeks, we have an 8-video and 8-podcast tour that we're doing here, highlighting shops, because so many of you guys want to build a shop. So many of you guys want to build a HQ, and I'm trying to give you guys the best that I got access to show you what's going on out there, what's working, what do people have for equipment setups out there, what are people having for shops and HQs and front offices, and what size revenue companies they are, right, to make all this stuff happen. And whether you want to build a $200,000 business, there's a shop that has something for that. Maybe it's a barn like on their property. There's a $800,000 a year business. What does that look like? And they're maybe renting space. Other guys have a $1, $2, $4 million business, and they just are renting or building their own. And we've got guys that have been part of the playlist that have $5, $10, $20 million companies, and you get to see these full-blown massive facilities that are on 10 acres with 20,000 square feet of warehouse space. Okay, so if you guys want to check out the correlating YouTube video, check it out later tonight at 3 p.m. Eastern on the Brian's Lawn Maintenance YouTube channel, and then check out the playlist as well, not only for the 8 shop tours that we're doing this year, but for the 8 that we did last year spring, and including 6 that we did last fall, talking more about snow and ice. Again, thank you to Equipment Defender, Cujo Yardware, Yardbook, and Steel for making this happen. Let's jump into the podcast here with my man, Kory Lamphear with Lamphear Lawn Care and Landscaping. Is it Lamphear? Lamphear's Lawn and Landscape, right? Yep. So welcome to the jungle. How we doing, brother?
Good, man. Good. I'm excited to be on here.
This is so cool. You've been such a fun guest, and it's been a treat to hang out here. We're actually doing this on the weekend, and we just got done filming the whole shop tour, the whole yard, the facility. Yep. Dude, this is so cool.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you. I was excited when you contacted me. I'm like, I can't pass up the opportunity.
Well, you messaged me in the fall, I think it was, because we were doing the winter tours, and you're like, hey man, like we got a cool thing going on. Like, you're like, I don't know how we get on the tour, but right. You're like, I'm not asking to be on the tour, but I'm like, if you want to see our shop, sure. And I remember that I wrote a note down, and I was doing this like whole like loop through Ohio, and like, I think it actually logistically would work, which is half the battle, right?
Right, exactly.
But I was like, hey, do you mind doing this on the weekend? You're like, dude, whatever you need, we got you.
Yeah.
So before we jump into it, I just want to say thank you.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
So if you don't mind, a lot of people probably don't know who you are just yet, and they're probably going to get to know you a lot more in the next couple of years, because you guys got a great thing going on.
Thank you.
This is a gem over here in Medina. So maybe give them the couple minute highlight reel and tell them a little bit more who you are.
Yeah, so I started in 2001, just a kid with a dream, like I was saying before, and I grew up on a farm. We quit farming and just had to figure out something to do. It sounds dumb. I love to work.
Yeah.
I love being outside. Honestly, outside is the key element to my success as a person. But nevertheless, I started cutting grass when I was 15. Had a 98 dual drive Ferris walk behind.
Okay.
Still have that mower to this day.
Yep.
Walked around Medina. My dad gave me a ride, dropped me off up there. My cousin Marcus, actually, is the lawn division manager now. He started day one with me too. He's still here, running the lawn maintenance division.
Cool.
And just worked hard, man. 22 years of just grinding, still grinding. 5 a.m. in the morning, we're loading up. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it. That's the key thing. You got to enjoy it. But yeah, just every year we work hard. We made people believers of us. We do what we say. That's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
Answer your phone.
Yep.
I tell landscapers, like, you just got to answer your phone. Like,
well, that's a lost art. They weren't taught that, in the last 5 years.
Right.
Most kids these days. That was an old school thing. 20 years. You had to pick up the phone.
Right.
You didn't send them the voicemail or get the transcribe thing,
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you go from okay, so a lot of guys listening, they have 0 to $500,000, maybe $1 million company, 0 to, 3, 4, 5 guys. I'm sure you guys remember those early stages.
Oh yeah.
So how do you go from that to an outfit like this? And by the way, you were saying like a half dozen mow crews, a half dozen landscape. Give me the set.
We got 9 mow crews. I'll try to get everything right. 9 mow crews, 5 we call it landscape enhancement.
Okay.
Crews. They work at all the HOAs and houses and stuff like that. And then we have a FERT crew, and then we have our 2 new construction crews.
Okay.
And then we have subs too. So really, like, when you're looking at the dynamic, if you add the sub crews in, we add a couple crews in all those divisions. So
gotcha.
We sub out a lot of fertilizer. We just do 1 crew's worth of fertilizer in-house. We have landscape crew we sub work to.
Okay.
We have a couple mowing crews we sub work to. So try to pick up those loose ends. We are really key on efficiency. So the stuff that didn't make sense for our schedule, we sub out. So.
Okay. How many total team members do you guys have? 75, 100 now?
Yeah. So right now, like in the early, we're right around 65, 70. And then as the season progresses, we get up close to 90.
Okay. Wow.
Again, not including our subs. So I guess if we all did all the work in house, we'd be over 100, but that'd be tough. That's a tough number.
I'm, trying to, manage 3 guys sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like herding cats, you know what I mean? So I can only imagine 50, 60, 70. So how did you guys go? I know you said 20, 21 years plus, but to go from a couple crews to where you are today, I'm sure this is got to be a dream come true.
Yeah, for sure. It's absolutely a dream come true. We were yes men. Like we were, what I mean? Okay. Like you're working in a development and the neighbor comes out, is like, hey, I want to get mulch too. You're like, it's 6 o'clock. We'll throw it in there. Yeah.
Sure.
So definitely we weren't scared of the challenge. And, like with the close team we have, all the managers, they all started within the company. So
okay.
I think that's a really cool dynamic. So they were out there with me, 15 years ago. We had these guys, they were out working with us. My general manager plowed snow for me. All these guys, they did the grind physically and they worked the late days and then that transpired into what it is now. And they remember those days. but it's an honest group of guys here. And we just kept going, swinging the axe over and over and over and over and over. We never stopped.
You were saying you heard Kory speak or share on a podcast of his about we just worked hard.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's some merit to that. I mean, a lot of people are like always looking for the answer. They're always looking for the system or the guru or the silver bullet or the whatever. And sometimes it's like, no, you're actually looking in the wrong place. What they say, like success is often overlooked because it shows up in a pair of overalls. You ever hear that one?
Oh,
you know, like, so tell me about that. Like the culture of just hustling and working and sticking it out.
So these guys, like we're such a close team. I mean, these guys they've been in my wedding. We're all a super close knit group. And then we have a core group out in the shop on the crews that they're close to. And, everyone just has that feeling of like, we're not going home until it's done. Like our snowplow program, we have one group text that has the entire snow program in it, like all the head leads.
Sure.
And Wadsworth is 15 minutes south of here. Those guys will come up and help Brunswick. And, and no one goes home until everyone goes home. And
that's cool.
I think that attitude over the years has really helped, get the jobs done. The rainy weeks, the big snowstorms, we just didn't go home until it was done. Like,
that's awesome.
And like you said, there's no secret. Like there is. I wish there was, I wish there was one thing I could say that, Lamphear's doubled in size when I did X. And it's like, no, like actually I just kept working. I just kept working and
slow and steady.
I think like smart decision-making behind the hard work is important. We didn't buy our first new truck until 2009.
Okay. Couple years in.
Yeah. So we started in 01.
7 years.
So my first mow vehicle was a Ford Explorer.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. I was pulling a 10 or 12 foot Hudson Brothers trailer that I bought used,
Yep.
It was rusty, whatever. The first mower was $800, and when we made $1,000, we didn't go buy a brand new mower. We kept going. And, quite honestly, equipment's, a big expense, and the young guys got to understand that new trailer is not going to make you more money than the old trailer.
Right.
Now, obviously the old trailer has to be maintained and kept up with, but it's still not going to make you more money if you go buy that new trailer. It's shiny objects, right?
Yes.
Like you got to hold yourself back. So that was a big thing for us. We still have some of the original trailers. They probably have at least 25 coats of paint on them, but they're still out there. They're still pulling equipment. They're still making money for us. And we buy a ton of used trucks. We buy a ton of brand new trucks.
Sure.
But we just, and buying that used equipment not only saves you money, but you have to work on it. And landscape businesses, we have all equipment, right?
Yep.
You got to learn to work on it.
Yep.
So if you can work on it, you're saving $90, $120 an hour at these shops, right? Do it in-house, fix it in-house. So just the management team here, the core group, they are just such a good bonded team.
Cool.
And they all are hands-on. They know how to, pretty much everyone knows how to work on stuff.
Yeah.
And we all are different in our own ways. So that helps too. Like you can't have everyone being the same. So,
yep. So let me ask you this, seeing the company grow like the last 2 decades, the facility though that we're in is newer, like what, 3 years ago?
3.5 years. Yeah.
So 3.5 years ago. So what is it like? Well, let me ask you this. What did you guys come from? And then building a place like this, how has that transition been getting to what I would imagine? This is like a dream facility, brother.
It is. Yeah, it is definitely a dream facility. So my parents, they, bless their heart.
Tell that story. Cause you were cracking me up outside. It didn't start like this, folks.
No. Yeah. So we have a century-old barn that's 3-story, beautiful old barn. And that's what we operated out of. Like we had cows in it, 25, 30 years ago, cows and pigs. I loved being a farmer. I wanted to be a farmer.
Yeah.
I'm a landscaper, right? Next best thing, planting grass instead of crops, but
it works.
We just turned that thing into a landscape shop. Like it had 3 stories. We went and bought wood, framed them up, made more rooms. We put additions on. We got, grindings from roads getting done, and we just kept extending the parking lot and we filled it up. And my parents, they've been great. If you're raising kids, the best thing my parents did for me is they never gave me money. They gave me their time.
There you go.
And so my mom, she still works in the office. She comes in a couple days a week.
Okay, cool.
My dad, you seen him out here?
Yeah, he's a
got
hustler.
the pop machine.
He's a hustler, bro. He's like, that was good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's this guy? Should I be like, actually, that's my dad, and he's hustling the vending machine money.
Yeah. I mean, my dad, he used to mow for us.
Shout out to Dad. He's going to listen in.
He still plows for us.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My dad works for Bill Jack Foods for 40 some years, but they never offered up money. If I was in a bad spot, my dad would be like, well, what can I do to help? Like, I'm not going to give you money to fix your problems. Like, what can you, and that's important. Like, again, that grind, that work hard, like you're not going to achieve it by just paying someone off.
Sure.
Like you got to figure it out. You got to do it. You got to problem solve. So that's important. Yeah. So coming from South Weymouth Road, Medina Township, we bought this property in 19 or 18, somewhere right around there. We sat on it for like a year.
Yep.
And then we started construction. People thought it was a development going in.
Oh, wow.
Because so many developments get built around here. And the one construction company we work for, we had them move the dirt and everything. And, it was a great experience. I got to be the GC. So I spent a ton of time here in 19. We moved in the end of 19 and then COVID hit.
Yeah. Tell me about that. Because that was a wild year.
Yeah.
Wild 3 years.
I about lost my shit.
It's just 3 words. But they tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach. Why there are over 10,000 local steel dealers in communities all across this nation. And why we're putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Just 3 words. 3 words you can kick dirt on, drag through the mud, but you can't cover up. Not everyone can say them, but we can. Made in America. Real steel. Find yours.
A majority of steel products sold in America are made in America of U.S. and foreign materials. Batteries and chargers are sourced internationally.
Yeah. No, 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was interesting. We come into this new facility and then COVID hits and we do a lot of commercial work. So we got like all the letters like, oh, you're allowed to go do landscaping at Giant Eagle and all that stuff. So we were still going, but it was not easy. You know what I mean? We made it though. We just going back. We just kept working, right?
Figured it out.
I came into my management team when they shut Ohio down, and I was like, "Listen, I'm coming here every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're gonna have to put me in jail."
Sure.
And they all looked at me and they're like, "We're coming in too." I'm like, and we had a core group that was like, "We're doing it," right? We made it through. And honestly, like tough times make strong men, right?
Amen to that.
So
they would not be able to pull that again in Michigan, let alone the rest of the country.
Oh yeah, never.
Like it's ridiculous. We were forced shut down. Like we could not do anything for about 8 to 10 weeks.
That's wild.
Was it that rough?
No. They shut us down. Quotation.
Yeah.
But there was still people. Doing what they needed.
No, they
to
would up Michigan. It was the AG was like, if you get caught, we will pull your license.
That's insane,
dude. Like wild
I would
stuff.
lose my mind.
If you guys ever see Whitmer on the national stage, I keep saying vote no, like red flag. Man. But I digress. So this whole facility though, like, did you guys have it planned out as big as it is? Because if you don't mind sharing, because you have a bunch of other auxiliary parts of the company that are all on site, like your plants, your mulch. What would you call like the back compost area? Like
we grind all the material back there. So we have our main facility, which is for the landscape company. Since we were going to have all these products here, mulch, topsoil, we started having people stop in. We're like, might as well sell to the public. So we have, it's open daily for people to come in, grab mulch, grab plants. We have other landscapers that come in. It's convenient for them too, right? Mm-hmm. We all try to network together. Mm-hmm. And then in the back, we have a tree. In the back, we have the tree farm. So we had 4 acres left over. I said, we might as well slam some trees in here, let them grow. Yeah. That's a whole nother world of trying to figure stuff out. But
sure.
we're making it happen.
Yeah.
Thanks to some good tree farmers around here that give me some good advice.
Cool.
And then, closer to the shop here, we have the grind facility per se. We have a guy full time. He screens topsoil, grinds all of our material that we bring back. So it's full circle, which is really cool. Yeah. So all the waste we bring in, we utilize it in some way.
You're like
back out.
You're one of the few I've ever seen have that all on site.
That's cool.
Like you've got the nursery up front, your own bins up front, and then all the scrap and the waste and the debris. Is that what you guys call it?
Yeah, debris. Yep.
All the stuff you take out, you recycle back up front.
Yep.
I'm like, that's actually genius.
Yeah.
I get, and I'm a Mickey Mouse business compared to this outfit, and but I still get people all the time saying, hey, now that you have your own property, you can bring your leaf material back. I'm like, listen, dude, I'm like, I don't know if I'm there yet. You know, like the extra, a couple yards of compost I do get, it's not exactly, and it's going to be my residential property.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if I had an operation like this, sure, we'll consider everything. But that's so cool. And that whole back area, how many acres is that? 4 or 5?
Yeah, I would say that area is probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Our parking lot up front's probably, we have 19 and a half acres, but everything's probably in like, we have
6, 4, 4,
something like that.
Wow, that's awesome. So where do you guys grow from here? Because I would imagine I would imagine you've doubled, in like a decade over, every couple of years over every couple of years.
Yeah.
The last couple of years have been really, really good. It sounds like.
Yeah. We, as the management team, so I try to make decisions with the team and none by myself. So, because I want them to be on board, right?
Sure.
So, if I come in here and say we're going to do this and don't talk to them about it, they're going to be like, oh yeah, we're just going to do this because Kory wants to.
Right.
So we talk about growth and stuff, and we're really concentrating on where we are now, now. So
sustainability and systems.
And we want to grow, but not necessarily by adding crews. We want to grow with our systems. We want to grow with how we operate, and we want to grow with our employees that are here, that have dedicated so many years.
More invested in them.
Yeah. And once we figure that out 100%, then that's when we take the next step.
Yeah.
I say like growing a landscape business is kind of like stairs and treads. And like, as you get larger, the treads become longer.
Okay, sure.
We could add 5 guys today and throw them out in the mix and it won't change our revenue.
Okay.
Because it just doesn't make a difference when you have 80 guys. You add 5 and they could just, if they're not doing what they're supposed to, they just get lost. But when you're a 5-person company and you add 5, you should be able to double, right?
Yep.
5 to 10, that's a big deal. So right now we notice over the years with our profitability being kind of a roller coaster, we noticed that, hey, we need to really like get these crews dialed in per crew, per man. So that's kind of where we're trying to grow right now, is really dial each crew in, each crew member, get them a little, more wise with decision making. And then I think the growth will come natural after that. Once raising wages has been a huge battle.
Yep.
As 2-3 year contracts, you can't just raise your wages overnight. It's like moving a mountain, So we're finally 20 to 23 has been uncharted territory.
We had a site, no lie, same thing. It was a 2-year contract, and that was the 2 years of the COVID. And I didn't leave any wiggle room in my old contract for even a fuel surcharge. Nothing. And I was like, oh, and so now I just renewed that account. Thankfully they renewed, but I mean, there was some selling. This last 2 months, they're like, hey, what's up with all the numbers? I go, hey, remember how the world is 30% broadly speaking more expensive? And they're like, yeah. And like they're thinking, hey, 3-5%. I go, no. I mean, the Mo price, everything's up 20-30%. And so they took it on the chin because that's all they could have done, really. I mean, I guess besides find somebody out, but I'm like, hey, here's the numbers to do it. And but we definitely bled the margin a little bit on that the last 2 years.
It's been tough. And wages increased so rapidly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when we started 20 years ago, I had people making $5.75 an hour.
No shoot.
To weed and stuff like that. I mean, we don't even hire in below 16 now.
Is that crazy?
Yeah. So times have changed, and the last 3 years have been the biggest change, but we're finally like 2023, we're right there, man. It's going to be a good year. Yeah.
I'm excited for you, man. Well, anything else you want to share? We got about 20 minutes on the board here, but a facility like this, sometimes I come here and I don't even know what questions I ask. This is way above my pay grade. And I just really do sincerely appreciate you opening up and just getting the pour back out there, because there's a lot of guys listening to my content, and whether they're 16 or 18 and they want to do the 10 million thing, or there's some guys that are, on that journey and they're all in, they're grinding it out, reinvesting every dollar, obviously. Yeah. And they want to get to, your guys' size, or the Kory Ballards out there. Like anything that you want to leave these guys where we got you, but this is a cool outfit, man.
I think the biggest thing is like, I'm no different than someone listening to this. Like, we just had a dream, and if you just don't give up on it, like I mentioned when we were taking the shop tour, I said, you got to bring everyone with you. Like we're a team. Like you got to make everyone believe what you see, like what you envision. Like you can't do it by yourself.
Yep.
And that's what we did. Like, you know, Marcus was here for the shop tour with you, and he's been with me for 22 years. He believes the same thing I do. You know, we got a room full of managers. We're sitting in now doing this podcast, and you know, they all believe in it. And it's important because you want the water all going the right way, all one-way street, right?
Yeah.
And that's super, super important. So take care of those employees because good people are very, very hard to find.
What's like give me like I'm sure like everybody's got their go-to, or like they revert back to like a core belief or a core quote or something like that. Do you got anything that like is a mantra or something that you live by?
Man, I'm such a simple person, but never give up is just
never give up.
Yeah,
that's straight.
I think that like it hasn't been 20 years of just rainbows and you know what I mean? Like there's been some tough times where you're sitting there and I've drove home and cried before
100%.
over, I've woke up in the morning and dreaded coming to work, but you know what? You got to go. Yeah. You got to do it. You got to never give up. Like you just got to keep going. And that's what we did. Like, that's what these guys do in here. That's what my crews do. That's what we do here. Like
that grit.
Yeah. You just, and it honestly, it pays off. And then once it pays off, you're all in more. Yes. Like you just,
we did this.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that's what's fun. Like that's, this facility, it reflects who we are. Like we worked hard to get here. We're going to work hard to stay here. We're going to work hard just because we like working hard. Like that's just who we are.
I love it.
And these guys, they stand behind me and I enjoy it.
Yeah. You were saying your office is upstairs. You're like, I'm not even in the mix, man. I don't want to get in their way. You're like, they started asking me questions. You're like, dude, I don't know. Like you guys go figure it out. You have a great team. You're like, I don't need to micromanage what you guys do.
Yeah. No, I'm so thankful for these guys. They kick ass.
Your office is literally upstairs.
It literally is.
It looks like a janitor's closet up there. I was like, don't you want to have more access to your team? You go, no, not really. Like I'm by the Christmas lights.
Yeah. I mean, my general manager, he schedules. So I work out with the new construction, about 85, 90% of the time.
Yeah. You love getting in the field, you were saying.
I do. Yeah. And I enjoy the equipment. I'm like a little kid, like dozer and skid steers and stuff like that. And,
heck yeah.
My general manager, he schedules my crew that I'm on and stuff. I mean, I still have input, obviously, but he schedules that. And, I just like controlled chaos.
I love it.
I mean, and that's landscapers. I mean, you're not going to if you want to make it landscaping, you got to learn to go. Yeah. Like, when it's the sun's shining, you got to go. When it's not, you got to get prepared to go.
Yep.
Snow is a good reflection on how your company's going to operate. If you're in the snow industry, like when it's snowing, you got to go.
Yeah.
If you have that same mentality for the landscape side, you're going to kill it.
Okay, there you go.
You're going to kill it.
I have a friend, I'm not going to give his name. You guys would know who it is probably in 10 seconds or less if I start talking more, but he's like, man, it's crazy to see how on it my team is for snow. But when we get to landscaping, they're all like laissez-faire. Yeah. He's like, come on, folks, you got to do the same in the summer that we do in the winter. And he's got a huge snow outfit. And, but he's like, I can get these people, they won't go home during the winter, right. But in the summer, it's like they're all showing up 5 minutes late. And he's like, what the hell's going on around here? But he's like, it's just weird. He goes, but they love snow. Those guys love snow. And they're like landscaping, it's like extra,
Right, yeah.
But they're like an 80-20 snow lawn, type business. So
yeah, unfortunately, we don't get enough snow.
Yeah. Did you guys even get anything this year?
16 lonely inches.
Whoa.
Or 17, somewhere around there.
That's crazy.
I think they
couple plow runs, maybe.
Yeah. Christmas, we had that gap there. That was a decent storm. Other than that, it's been minimum.
Yeah, I have friends in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, just down the road, and they didn't get but one, maybe two plows. Yeah, and a couple salt runs.
And we put a huge amount of money into our snow program this year too. So I mean, but you know what though? It's not like the equipment's going anywhere. Yeah. So we got it for next year too.
You're good to go.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they said 2008 for us was the last time we had this slow of a winter.
So it's on schedule every decade. Gets a little slow.
I mean, I can't say I'm super disappointed that didn't snow a lot, but
Well, you guys were like, well, we got 1,000 yards of mulch on the books. I'm like, 1,000 yards of mulch. And I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's like, we moved 125 yards this week with his five-person company. And I'm like, that's legit, dude. We have a couple hundred to move in total, but you guys are doing it in a week. Yeah. It's like there's always a bigger fish,
For sure.
And I'm just like, man, logistically, I'm like, how do you keep track of it all? Like, there's times where I'm pulling out my hair, just like literally, folks, we're Mickey Mouse compared to like what Kory's got going on. I'm just like, I can barely keep half of it straight, and I know it's the team and the systems and all that stuff.
Oh, so. It takes. We start like literally. We hit Thanksgiving break.
Yeah,
we come back and we dive right in to
next year.
March. We call March 1st. Like we literally all winter start scheduling. Right now, all of our crews are scheduled out till a little after 4th of July.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have to start early and we just hammer it down.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to leave this, guys? But that's kind of all I got, man. I'll get out of your way because I've been here for a couple hours. I'm ready to hit the home. Hopefully, go home and see my peanut tonight and the wifey. And I've been on tour for a couple of days, but this is so cool. Thank you for opening up on the weekend.
No problem at all.
I do not take that for granted. I was DMing you like last week. I'm like, hey, it's going to work out, but it's going to be probably on a weekend, probably Sunday. You're like, you good with that? You go, dude, I love this place. It's a second home.
Yeah.
Whatever you need.
Yeah. I was super excited to have you here. Yeah. So it's cool. I was telling you, I've worked so much for so long that I haven't really been involved in all this, Facebook, Instagram, the whole like network. And I'm like, I got to get into this. Like,
sure.
And it might help us go to the next level too, right?
Yep.
Networking with people. So I don't know. Maybe this is my start to getting more involved. Nevertheless, I'm super pumped that you came here and
100%.
Gave me the opportunity. Been able to show you the facility and all that good stuff.
I love it, man. I love it. Really quick, where can people find you guys, and we'll kind of button it up? Yeah,
Facebook, Lamphear's Lawn Service, LLC, LamphearLawn.com, cool. And then Instagram, Lamphear's Lawn Service.
Yeah, and I was saying in the video, I was joking, but if you guys are in the Medina and you need a job, come on by.
We're always hiring.
I was going to say, like,
we're always hiring. I think we added 25 team members in the last 2 weeks.
Cool.
Yeah. So
great team coming on.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, again, thank you so much for opening up. Guys, hang tight and we'll come right on back.
Thanks a lot, Brian.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach, and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Just 3 words. Made in America. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. The majority of steel products sold in America are made in America of U.S. and foreign materials. Batteries and chargers are sourced internationally.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. Kory, you did an amazing job, brother. That was a lot of fun. And again, this was just a special treat. I did not know what I was walking into, to be honest with you. And man, I am so grateful we were able to lock this down and make it happen. Kory, thank you again for opening up your facility on a beautiful Sunday morning, and also having your right-hand man, Marcus, do a tour with us and with me, and just host. It was so much fun, and you guys have it going on. I'm telling you what, you guys are a gem for sure out there, and you guys need to go down the rabbit hole looking at all things Kory Lamphear with Lamphear Lawn Care. It's awesome what they have going on. All right, that being said, thank you guys so much for listening, and again, big shout out and thank you again to Cujo Yardware, Yardbook, Steel, and Equipment Defender for supporting this spring shop tour series. Guys, that's what I got for you on today's show. We'll look forward to catching up with you guys here on the next one.
The Know Your Numbers Profitability and Pricing Calculator is here. Are you tired of uncertain profits? Then get the tools you need to price your lawns correctly. Recover overhead, calculate man-hour rates, and budget for success. Exclusively at Launchpreneur Academy, this brand new resource is guaranteed to give you the confidence you need to run a profitable business. Get started now with the Know Your Numbers Profitability and Pricing Calculator at LaunchpreneurAcademy.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.